Today's digital worlds are remarkably smooth. You boot up a game, and instantly you are guided along a perfectly paved path. Everything is strictly designed to remove friction. You don't have to worry about losing your progress because of autosaves. Glowing arrows tell you exactly where to walk. Constant tutorials pop up the second you hesitate, and every puzzle comes with a step-by-step hint. You are never truly lost. But there is a very specific reason for all this guidance. Massive titles like Fortnite or Roblox are not actually built to be finished. The concept of beating the game simply does not apply here. Instead, the goal is pure retention. They are engineered to keep you inside the ecosystem indefinitely, feeding your brain a steady diet of minute-to-minute stimulation so you never have a reason to look away. By sanding down all the rough edges and removing the risk of severe frustration, the industry successfully solved the problem of keeping players logged in. But in doing so, they quietly erased the feeling that you actually achieved something difficult. That makes it unusual that many players are suddenly walking away from these flawless ecosystems, opting instead for clunky, unforgiving hardware from 30 years ago. It is easy to write this off as simple childhood nostalgia, a desire to return to a simpler era of entertainment. But our perspective here at Titan Maruja is a bit different. Players are seeking out these older titles because modern software has systematically removed our capacity to fail. This massive retro resurgence is an unconscious search. We are looking for friction in a digital world that has become uncomfortably smooth. Go back to the 90s and the rules were incredibly stark. If you missed a jump or failed a boss fight, nobody came to help you. You lost your 3 lives and you started over from the beginning. You could not open a map. You had to become the map. It was entirely on you to memorize the maze, recognize the enemy patterns, and deduce the solution with zero outside assistance. This is a flowchart showing the exact design loop of the era. You experience total failure, you are forced into an analysis of what went wrong, and then you make your next attempt. Repeated over and over, this specific cycle built up a psychological muscle, a high tolerance for frustration. Because there was no alternative content pulling at your attention, you stayed in that state of discomfort, trying again and again until you finally solved the problem. The developers who made these titles were not setting out to teach life lessons. They were working with severe memory limits on tiny cartridges. Their absolute indifference to the player's comfort accidentally forged an entire generation's mental resilience. Modern design completely dismantled that friction. Defeating a difficult boss to reach a definitive ending has been traded for endless, self-perpetuating reward loops. Now, the system compensates you just for showing up. You get a daily login bonus, a battle pass levels up regardless of your actual skill, and a massive update drops every few weeks to guarantee there is always something fresh to look at. 30 years ago, you might spend a month stuck on a single level before earning a victory screen. Today, the screen showers you with bright visual stimulation and a tiny hit of reward every few seconds. When the software remembers your path, manages your inventory, and points out the solution, winning stops meaning anything. The game does the heavy lifting, ensuring you succeed just enough to stay logged in until tomorrow. Over time, your brain adapts to that high-frequency stimulation. When you get used to constant, perfectly timed digital satisfaction, the slow, quiet pace of the real world begins to feel entirely unmanageable. This chart maps out exactly what happens when reward frequency scales up indefinitely. As our expectation for instant digital feedback climbs, our baseline capacity to focus drops. Waiting in line, holding attention on a single task, or just sitting with boredom becomes a physical strain. So booting up a harsh silent game from 1996 is an escape. In an environment of infinite, noisy content, hitting a hard, frustrating limit actually feels like a relief. There are no autosaves in the real world, no glowing arrows guiding you through a difficult career choice or a complex personal problem. The blunt, punishing design of early gaming expected you to figure things out on your own, which is exactly how life actually works. That is the official Titan Maruja perspective. Systematically stripping away the frustration of failure is quietly degrading our resilience. But we want to hear your counterargument. Did that older era actually build real mental toughness? Or do modern conveniences like autosaves just respect a busy player's time a lot better? Let us know which side of this psychological divide you land on down in the comments.